Good morning. Today I'm going to do the revision. Subject, food science. Topic, unit number 8, colloids. So what do you mean by colloids? Generally, we have two different types of solution. One is true solution, which is homogeneous. So whenever you add salt or sugar, it dissolves very easily. So this is true solution. Now talking about the next solution is suspension. Take an example, you're preparing tomato juice. You have the seeds which are suspended. So this is heterogeneous solution and it is known as suspension. Now between these two lies a third solution which is known as colloids. So let's talk about colloids in detail. So as I already explained you, true solution, suspense, as well as colloids. So true solution, it's a salt liquid solution, which is homogeneous solution. And you can see the particle size is 10 to the power of 7 centimeters. Next, suspension solution. Suspension solution, the particle size would be 10 to the power of 5 centimeters. Here, the particles are suspended, as I already told you, tomato juice. Next, the solution between these two is known as colloidal solution, where the particles are very minute and they disperse. Because here you have a continuous solution as well as discontinuous phase. So continuous phase is something where the water is stagnant. Dispersed phase are the particles which are moving or which are floating in the solution. So colloidal solution is 10 to the power of 7 centimeters. So talk about this colloidal system. As you can see, they give structure, texture, mouthfeel to many different products. Just now as I've done the revision for the topic flavors, where I will talk about the mouthfeel. Take an example of jam or ice cream or mayonnaise or biscuits, cakes, chocolates. You get the mouthfeel of the product, which is very, very important. Now, types of colloids. As you can see, when you're talking about these types of colloids, you have salts, emulsions, foams, solid salts, solid emulsions, solid foam, solid aerosol, liquid aerosol. You don't have so much in detail in your textbook, but generally giving you an example of solid and liquid, which we call it as salts. So take an example of solid and liquid. We are taking an example of paints, fruit, jellies, gels, dyes, then undercooked products, etc. Then liquid in liquid. Take an example of liquid in liquid. Then you can take an example of mayonnaise, French dressing, milk, salad, creams. Then next one is gas in liquid. So gas in liquid, which is called as foam. So gas in liquid, we will talk about beer froth, soap suds, whipped cream. Then you can take off egg white foam as well. Solid in solid, which is known as solid sol. We are taking an example of aloes, gemstone, ruby, glass. Then take an example of liquid in solid, that is butter and cheese, which we call it as solid emulsion. Liquid in liquid is emulsion, solid in liquid is solid emulsion. Then gas solid, we call it as solid foam, example, pumic, marshmallows, meringues. Then solid gas, which is known as solid aerosol, we find in smoke, dust in the air, bacteria in the air, etc. Next, liquid in gas, which we call it as liquid aerosol, that is fog, mist, cloud, sprays. But in your textbook, we have only solid in liquid, that is skimmed milk, liquid in another liquid, which is French dressing, gas in liquid, egg white foam, gas in solid bread, solid in gas, smoking of fish. Okay. So talk about colloidal system in the food. You have continuous phase as well as discontinuous phase. Continuous phase, where water is a continuous phase, whereas the particles which are dispersed is known as dispersed phase. Here we'll be talking about hydrophilic, that is water loving, then which is egg white, pectin, starch, and gelatin. Hydrophobic, which is water hating. So talk about the next properties of colloids. So we'll be talking about the following properties: Tyndall effect, Brownian moment, electric charge, adsorption, osmotic pressure, imbibition, flow properties, effects of colloidal particles on freezing and boiling. So let's start with the first one, that is Tyndall effect. So whenever you see in case of Tyndall effect, the moment you are leaving a strong beam of light or passing a strong beam of light to a colloidal solution, these particles are not visible, but the beam is reflected towards the other side. So the light is reflected towards the other side, but particles are not visible in a colloidal solution. So this is called as the Tyndall effect. Second one is the Brownian movement. Brownian movement is a zigzag, you can say the zigzag size of the particle or the zigzag motion of the particle. Whenever you see any juice, like I'm not getting the name of the product, you get orange juice, pulpy orange drink, where you have the particles which are in zigzag motion, which is known as Brownian movement. Next is the electric charge. Electric charge generally have a positive and negative charge. The similar charged particles repel each other and do not clump together and remain in a suspension, which is electric charge. You can see here electrophoresis, positive as well as negative charge. Next is the adsorption. Next is the adsorption, where you find the particles are absorbed on the surface. Like take an example in ice cream with fruits, where all the fruits, when you're adding ice cream prepared with added fruits or addition of gelatin to the milk to ensure a smoother products, at the same time you're adding white sauce instead of milk in a tomato soup, which helps to prevent curdling. Osmotic pressure, as already discussed in one of the unit regarding the osmotic pressure, the process by which molecules of a solvent moves through a semi-permeable membrane. That's osmotic pressure. Then imbibition. Imbibition is, take an example of rice. When you take rice, in the presence of heat, it absorbs water. The particles will imbibe the water, and you find the size of the particle gets swollen, where we can say the rice is cooked, which is known as gelatinization also. So that is imbibition. Last one is the flow properties. Flow properties, where you have salts are free flowing at room temperature. So in case of liquid, you are putting some solid particles, they have got free flowing movement. So it all depends again on the temperature, where you're making a jam, boiling at the end point is still free flowing. Then concentration of the colloids as well. The last one is effects of colloidal particles and on freezing and boiling point. So this especially will have negligible effect on freezing or boiling points of the food. So we have done with the Tyndall effect, Brownian moment, electric charge, adsorption, osmotic pressure, imbibition, flow properties, effects of colloidal particles on freezing and boiling. The next one is application of colloidal system in the food preparation. So we have salts, gels, and foams. Talk about the salts. Salts, these are solids which are dispersed in liquid phase and they are free flowing. And these are clear, opaque appearance and exhibit Tyndall as well as Brownian movement. Gels, which are solid and forms a three-dimension network, and these are cross-linked and which holds the liquid. So you can say it is it doesn't flow easily. So gels, as you can see, where a jelly is made, gelatin is dispersed in a liquid and heated to form salts. As the salt cools, protein molecules unwind, forming a network that traps water and forms a gel. So talking about the foam. So as you can see, the foam here, foams are composed of small bubbles of gas dispersed in liquid. Like egg white foam. As a liquid egg white is whisked, air bubbles are incorporated. And this mechanism action causes albumin protein to unfold and form a network trapping the air. So this is about your salts and gels. Last is the gelation, or you can say gelatin or gel formation. Talk about this gel formation. I've already explained you about the gel formation. Here you have a colloidal system in which solid forms a three-dimension cross-link network which holds the liquid. So where pectin is heated in the presence of acid and sugar and water becomes trapped. The long chain of polysaccharide cools to form a gel. An example of this is making jam. So very quickly I'm going to revise. So this is unit number 8, colloids, where we are doing the revision. So in this colloids, we have been talking about the true solution. Homogeneous particle size is 10 to the power of 7 centimeters, where you have salt or sugar dispersed, immersed, they get dissolved. Then suspension is heterogeneous, where you have particles dispersed, because you have continuous phase and dispersed phase. Continuous phase is water, dispersed phase are the particles which are floating in the water. The third one is the colloid. Between these true solution and suspension, the third one is the colloidal, where you have the particle size which are very minute when compared to suspension, and it is 10 to the power of 7. Then these colloidal system specifically gives the mouthfeel of the products for jam, ice cream, mayonnaise, etc. Then you have various types of colloids such as solid in liquid, liquid in liquid, gas in liquid, solid in solid, liquid in solid, gas in solid, solid in gas, liquid in gas. Then we have been talking about hydrophilic as well as hydrophobic. Hydrophilic is water loving, hydrophobic is water hating. Then properties of colloids, Tyndall effect, where you beam of light will reflect towards the other side, but you will not find the particles visible. Brownian movement is the zigzag movement of the particles. Electric charge, positive and negative charge. Adsorption, like ice cream with the fruits in that, will absorb. Then osmotic pressure, movement of particle through a semi-permeable membrane. Imbibition, take an example of cooking rice. Flow properties, when you have a liquid flowing, it all depends on solids dispersed in liquids, and this depends on the freezing and boiling point. Example, jam. So we have done with this. Then we have been talking about salts, gels and foam. So solid in liquid, which forms salts, where you have gel, where you have a solid in liquid, but it is not free flowing because it is cross-linked and forms like gelatin gel like this. Then foam, where you have a small, what you can say, small bubbles of gas dispersed in liquid. An example, you are beating the egg. So it all depends on how much pressure and time you are beating the egg. Based on that, you get the products. So gel formation, just now I've discussed gel formation. With this, we have completed the revision for the topic colloids. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Thank you.